Happy Monday, friends, and welcome to this Budget With Me session that I am so excited to be a part of. So my name is Ernie. I'm one of the teachers around here at YNAB. I'm also the other half of the Budget Nerds. And as always, I'm joining you from Eau Claire, Wisconsin in the United States. Now, before we get started, why don't you type on over where you're joining from? Always fun to see where others are checking in from. Are there any other Wisconsinites in the crowd? Yeah, just type over there in the comments. All right, Stephanie says, hi, Bernie. We can hear you. Excellent. And I love that you called me Bernie. Everyone calls me Bernie. I order up food online or, call them up, tell them my name. They always think I'm saying Bernie. All right, we have Nicole. We have Rachel. Rachel, I recognize the name from Budget Nerds. Stephanie from Australia, Amy from Franklin, Talia from Toronto. We have Blaine, we have Brandy, Johan, Mark. Hey, Mark's from Minnesota. Fellow Midwesterner. Spring will eventually be here, right? Man, I think it's like 42, 44 degrees here today. Crazy. We have Kevin, we have Chris, we have Rita, Brandon. Wow, we got a big group here. April. We have Brian, another Brian. Scott from Portland, Oregon. Welcome. Also, a big hello to my coworkers. I know you are watching this thing. I would too. So don't blame you at all. But it really is good to have you here. Joshua, Terminator, Cindy K, Madtown in Wisconsin, go Badgers. I kind of like the Badgers. I'm more of a Minnesota fan myself, but I can get behind the Badgers every so often. All right, folks, everyone is settling in here. And if you're new to YNAB, new to this area here, my name is Ernie. And I'm one of the teachers around here at this company called YNAB Budget, YNAB for short. And I'm going to be doing this budgeting with me session today. I'm going to be walking through my actual budget. So this budget with me thing, it's a thing out there on YouTube, and I'm fascinated with it. I love watching other YNABers go through their paychecks and allocate them, assign them to their categories. Well, one, it's always fun seeing other people's budgets, seeing how they structure them, what their categories are, what their priorities are. But it's also really fun to see how people approach the assigning process, right? The money that they have sitting in the bank, how they prioritize it across the categories. And so for the longest time, I thought, boy, that is something that I want to actually do. And then I talked with Ashley about it. She said, this is a fantastic idea. Then I talked with my wife, Christy, and she said, yeah, go ahead. I don't care if you do that. And so here we are. So I'm going to be going through the budget. Let me hop over to that screen. Here we are, May. Now, I'm going to start by saying this. It has been, as excited as I am for this budget with me, it has been a very rough Monday. I've had to wait 12 hours to assign my April paychecks. Usually this is the first thing that I do on the first of every single month. So just knowing that I had these unallocated funds right there at the top, it drove me nuts all day. And it just made me that much more excited to actually get to this budget with me so I can get the budget in place. So here's where we stand with my budget here. The question, why is he not in the bathtub? So there's this ongoing joke with Budget Nerds that I do my end of the month rollover in the bathtub because it's a very special time for me. I update my tracking accounts, my retirement accounts. I finalize moving money around in that particular month. I reconcile my bank accounts, just kind of tidy everything up before we then move on to that next month. But so that was actually yesterday. but there was no bath included. I think Ben just thinks it's funny imagining me in the bathtub with my YNAB issued computer doing my budgeting. All right. So here we go. The ready to sign. This is 2 paychecks from me, 2 paychecks from my wife, Christy. Those were from April. It includes a little bit of cash back from Discover. So I primarily use the Discover card for a grocery store that we have here in the Eau Claire area. They only take debit card or Discover. So I'm like, might as well get some cash back. Let's use the Discover. And I just have that on automatic, like cash out every single month, throw it in next month's ready to assign. And what else does it include? Oh, it includes interest from the 3 interest-bearing accounts that we have. And then this is kind of different for this month. It includes $104.81 from a flexible spending account reimbursement that just came through this morning. So that is the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that 104.81 and I'm going to put that into my healthcare category because that money's already spoken for. So right here, what was that amount? 104.81. Okay. So now this is the amount that was earned last month that I want to apply to the rest of the categories. Juliet, I've never seen those 4 tabs at the top of the budget before, the overspent available, etc. This is a new feature. This is a feature in the making. I probably shouldn't even have this on here, but I don't know how to remove it. And so it's an internal feature that a few of us are testing here. And we're really excited about it. It's just a different way to filter your categories, right? You can look at the overspent ones, underfunded. But I probably shouldn't get into that. Probably shouldn't even be showing it, but hey, this is my show. All right, budget with me. So back to May. This is what we're going to do. Let me take down that comment there. All right, let's do this. So credit card payment categories, nothing needs to be done there. That's yellow because of some overspending, and we'll get into that. Next month, haven't earned any money in May, but my May paychecks and Christy's May paychecks will land right there. All right, bills, car insurance, monthly bill for me. Now I could select all these categories, hit underfunded, but that's no fun. I don't do that really in the real world. I like going category by category, right? There's just something almost therapeutic about entering in how much you are putting towards a particular expense. So 7411. I use State Farm. I don't know if they're good or not. I like them. And I have that Drive Safe program. Don't mess with my discount. No endorsement, no promotion there or anything. I really do like them. And that little Drive Safe thing has saved me a ton of money. So I'm pretty happy with that car insurance monthly bill for 2 vehicles, minivan and a Corolla. So, all right, we have 2 credit cards on Budget Nerds. I talk about how much I hate paying these annual fees, $95 per card, just so I can swipe it. I guess I do get a free hotel every night, but I don't know. It would be nice if Christy and I could get down to just 1 Hyatt card and save a little bit of money every month, but I just don't think we need to. All right, cell phones. So we have a family plan. Christy and I have our phones through that, and then my father-in-law and sister-in-law. So they've already given us their portion. So I need to assign for our portion. And then 2 of our boys have, actually 3 of the boys, 2 of them share a phone, but I'm going to put aside money for theirs. And then we're still paying for their cell phone. I don't know when we're going to start making them pay for it. Charlie just got a job. He's our oldest. So I think he's really close to probably actually taking on his own cell bill. All right. Electric. Ooh, I like this category. I like how I approach it. And I just stumbled upon this, and it's not new to anyone. I'm sure tons of YNABers do it, but it was new to me when I figured it out. So I'm in Wisconsin, super variable here, right? The winters are crazy cold. Costs are crazy high. And then it goes down a little bit in the winter. And so what I've been doing is just kind of ballparking it, I think I need to throw $300 into the category every single month. But now I am allocating based on this average spent amount right here. So this is a 12-month rolling average of what's been coming out of the category. And I was surprised at how helpful that amount was. So I'm going to be putting in 290.37. The bill coming out here in May is 277. So I've entered that season where I'm going to start building up a little bit of a surplus here. So I'll build that up all the way through November or December. And then when, heating kicks in, then I'll start spending down from that surplus. And that surplus lasted me most of the winter. I actually ran out last month, actually 2 months ago in March, and I had to add in an extra $100. So by simply assigning that average spent amount every single month, it got me really, really close to getting me all the way through the season. So that was super helpful. Garbage, this is a non-monthly bill. And for those of you that watched my category video from Budget Nerds a few episodes ago, you know that I put all of my bills under one group. So monthly bills and non-monthly bills. And the reason I do that is when I roll with the punches, when I change this plan, the bills are off the table. I just know I'm not going to be taking any money from those categories. So I like that approach. So let's dump $28.95 there. Home insurance. I take care of setting aside money for home insurance and property taxes. Ben and I always joke that we can do it better than the banks. And actually, that proved to be true last year. I was within $17 of my property taxes. So we'll dump $92.75 into home insurance. Most of these categories are pretty boring so far. Let me check the comments, just see how folks are doing over there. There we go. All right. Internet, another pretty boring bill here. Monthly, $79.99, going through Spectrum there. Life insurance. This is one of those expenses where over the course of a number of years, I've been able to change when I pay my premium. And I think YNABers experience this a lot, right? They start building up that cash reserve and they go from monthly to every 6 months to every year, right? A lot of times that can save you some money. So I was thankful enough that a couple of years ago I was able to switch over to paying life insurance for both Christy and myself once a year. I don't know how much it saves us, but it's worth it to me. So $69.05 gets dumped there. And I think we're actually paying that this month. And that's always super satisfying, right? Saving up something over the course of a year and then just paying that without thinking about it, that's still, after 10 years of YNAB, that just never gets old for me. Miscellaneous, probably the stupidest category in the budget. I don't know why I still have it there. I mean, I'm putting $5 in this thing every single month, primarily to fund that stupid printer ink that I hate buying so much. But we got one of those nice printers that the ink lasts for an eternity. So not super necessary, but for some reason, I keep that miscellaneous category around. All right. We're already a quarter after the hour. I just want to, if anyone is jumping in and wondering what the heck am I watching here, this is a YNAB Budget with Me. So You Need a Budget is the software here. And I'm just going through and allocating my April paychecks to my expenses that I'm going to be encountering here in May. And so this kind of stuff is a lot of fun. Us budget nerds like doing this. So thanks for joining. Mortgage. This is another reason it's been tough for me to wait all day, because I have a lot of bills. Actually, all my bills, I think, are set up as scheduled transactions. And so there's a number of them that fire on the first of the month. And so, I've been going this whole day thinking, I know there's overspent categories in YNAB. I know there's overspent categories in YNAB. So now I can pay those back. Underfunded. There we go. Property taxes, 401.64. Again, I can do it better than the bank. We'll see if that proves true this year. Probably not. I'll probably be wildly off. Most of our retirement for Christy and I is through our company 401s, but we each do have a Roth. And so we each make an $80 contribution to that every single month. So not too significant, but I like doing that. Subscriptions. What do we have here? Apple Storage and Spotify. And then there's a few non-monthly subscriptions that come through here. So what do I have for this? Oh, I have the savings builder, monthly savings builder. Yeah, every month I'm just dumping in that 24, 25 underfunded. There we go. TV, what do we got here? No more. Oh, I guess I don't have any more coming out. Is it just? Oh, there we go. 2 upcoming. So Disney Plus fires on the 1st, Netflix, Peacock. There we go. Not a whole lot of money. Vehicle registration, 2 vehicles, minivan, Corolla. Underfunded there. Water bill. This is every 3 months in this city. I think that's pretty common, right? Most cities bill water every 3 months. And what am I doing there? Needed for spending, $275. Yep. So I think I just paid that a couple months ago. Yeah, I've got 1 more month worth of saving. I'll pay the bill in June. And then that whole process of setting aside, about $90, that's going to start in July. All right, so there we go. All the bills are taken care of for the month of May. Feels good. Now we get into some fun categories and the frequent categories. First off, you got to give the fun money categories their money. So Christy and I each get $75. It's probably time for us to up that. Yeah. I want to do that right now, but I don't know. We'll wait. I should definitely think about that because we've been at 75 for a while. And I'd like to point out, and I know this is a game amongst other YNABers, right? You compare fun money categories. So I have more money in mine than Christy. And that wasn't always the case. For most of our marriage, actually, Christy always had more money than me. She would just kind of save it and it would build up and really build up. But then we got a dog, Ridge, and she loves spending money on Ridge. And so this category balance has been going down. Now we have a category for Ridge, and you'll see that, but she just, little extra treats, extra toys, loves spending money on Ridge. And I know Ridge loves it. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing with consumables as I did with electric. This is a variable. In consumables, I'm talking toilet paper, paper towels, shampoo, toothpaste, all that kind of stuff, things that we go through on a regular basis. Really tough for me to dial in how much we've been spending. It seems like when the kids were in elementary school, I had it dialed in, but now that they're teenagers, it's like there's no rhyme or reason to how they use anything, right? And I don't even want to get into that, but these costs have just skyrocketed. So what I use is that average spend. And that's been pretty accurate. Eating out, what do we do here? $75 every Friday. So that usually covers our Friday takeout. And then sometimes we even have a little bit extra that we can use for something else fun over the course of the month. And so, underfunded. Yeah, that's what I wanted there. 300. Gas, another super variable. I just use average spent over the past 12 months. I'm sure we're going to go over that because summertime, we're going to be doing a lot of just driving around. We found these things called sniff parks. Has anyone ever done these with your dog where it's an app and you can just bring up all the sniff parks in your area? And it's basically landowners, homeowners who rent out their area for a dog, and you get the whole place to yourself for like an allotted amount of time. I think it's 1 hour. So we have this sniff spot probably 30 minutes from here for Ridge. It's like an acre of land fenced in, and he can just run wild. I mean, ears pinned back, like fur just blown in the wind. He's at his happiest in those spots. And so we're going to be probably burning through a lot of gas to get back and forth between that sniff spot. And then the groceries, of course, everyone battles with this category. So I'm using that average spent. And I've been doing the average spent in groceries for probably 3 or 4 months. And it's been the best approach to groceries that I've had in a long time. I used to use the needed for spending weekly, but it just wasn't working for me. And so now I just use that average spent, and it helps me really dial in those costs a little bit more. All right. Let's see here. Look at the chat. Ashley says Ridge deserves it. Yes, he does. He's a cutie. Well, let's keep talking about Ridge here. So he's so special that he gets his own group in the budget. So Ridge is a mini golden doodle that we got back in September. And what is he now? September, I think he's almost 9 or 10 months old. So just still a little guy, and I'm still trying to figure out his costs. So these are all on, I have targets set up for all of these. So I'm just going to select those underfunded. And I'm sure these amounts are all going to be off. And then I'm just going to kind of tweak them, roll with the punches as the month goes on. Probably by the end of the summer, beginning of next year, maybe, I don't know, I'll have a better feel for some of these costs, and I can change those targets a little bit more. But like he's getting fixed tomorrow, getting neutered tomorrow. And that's going to be about $300. So we already are a little bit short, but I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till that cost comes through. And then we also have to pay for his insurance. And I'll just roll with the punches from those other categories, but I'm fine with the total amount of money that I have in that group for right now. That's where we need to be. All right, true expenses, the ones that don't happen every single month. Boys, 3 teenage boys. So this is for their activities. They have some subscriptions of their own that we pay for. Dump $75 in there. Car maintenance, I'm going to wait on this. So what I've done with car maintenance, durables, furniture, home improvement, I'm using the savings balance target. I put in the amount that I want to have, and I'm not using the by date. When I get a little bit of extra, these are the categories that I kind of beef up, because right now I have money available. So if something happens, I can get it covered, but I want a little bit more, but it's not super high priority for me. So maybe we'll come back to that one. I'm just going to pass. Christmas, just treat that like a monthly bill, underfunded. Clothing, yep, same thing, underfunded. Treat it like a monthly bill. Here's one of those that I've already, the scheduled transaction went out, so I'm short. Get some money back there. Always fun to see that category go green. Durables, I'm skipping. Family fun. This is what supports the sniff spots. So 216 heading into summer. I mean, this is little stuff like we go to a museum, we go to sniff spot, we go to an ice cream shop. Just kind of the little things that we do as a family. All right, gifts. So this we make this a little bit different than Christmas. This is birthdays and holidays. So Christmas is kind of a much bigger deal. So I like separating it. Underfunded. There we go. Actually, we were kind of building up, I think, more than we need in that particular category. So maybe that's something that I pull from in the future. But right now, I'm just going to leave it right there. All right, furniture, I skipped over that because there's $1,000 there. And I'm actually, you'll see this in the end, but I'm probably going to have to pull from a lot of these categories coming up here soon because we have a big project. I'll talk about that in a bit here. Haircuts, 3 boys, Christy, $70. That should do it. Healthcare, I'm going to drop another. What do I have here? Yeah, I do want to put an additional 100. So the target's satisfied because of that health savings, that flexible spending money that just came through. But I want to give it another 100 It's because I like having money in the category when I pay an expense so that it doesn't go overspent. And then, then the category isn't desperate for money while I wait for that reimbursement from Christie's flexible spending account. Plus, I think I would just, to sleep better at night, I would like to have a lot more in this category than what I currently have. Home improvement, I'd like to eventually have $2,000 here, but I'm just going to wait on that. School, all right. Taxes, this is we have our taxes prepared for us, and so I pay for that, $15 a month. Trees, shout out to the YNABer who said that every YNABer, for homeowners, needs a tree category. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, we just got through taking down 2 trees in our backyard, and then I just had the stumps ground out this past month. And oh my goodness, it looks like a meteorite landed in our backyard. Such a massive crater it was a silver maple, and those silver maple roots, I mean, they're huge, they're above ground, and they needed to be dug out. So I've got a project in the backyard. Trips, this is vacation. Or if we take a little, overnight excursion to the Twin Cities, something like that, underfunded. And actually that balance is way higher than what we've contributed. I just got about half of that just came from my father-in-law and sister. They're going on vacation with us. And so we're renting an Airbnb and they gave me their portion already. So I just inflowed that right to the category. So it's not treated as income at all. The question came through. What are durables? Let me back up here. Durables. So those are the things for the house that we buy that last a little bit longer than consumables, right? Mops, curtains, rugs, pillows, bed sheets, things like that. So we're not spending a whole bunch from that category. And that's, I don't know if I mentioned that. That's one of those where I have the savings balance. I shoot for a balance of $500 in case anything ever comes up. Don't really fund it a whole lot. It's not a big priority for me to top off to 500. Yard, this is my prize category. Love being in my yard, spending money on my yard. Though I must confess admit, for a hobby, I feel like this is pretty reasonable. $75 a month. I don't really spend a whole lot on the yard. Just like spending time out there. Okay, down to $55.73. I really wasn't paying attention to that number. Well, I got to give the boys their money. So Manny, he's our second. Simeon's our youngest. We give them $20 each, $10 for fun, $10 for gifts, and pretty much just to here's some money for you to practice with, right? So they like that. And then Charlie was actually just kicked out of the budget because he got his own job. And so he's making his own money. He set up his own YNAB budget, and it's really kind of fun walking through that process of getting that all set up with him. But I'm not giving him $20. He has his own money. Now this is underfunded right here because we pay for his NFL Plus subscription. We just can't separate that out from, the way Apple bills things. So he pays us back. But I'll worry about that later. So now I'm down to $15.75, and I skipped over the goals section because generally I don't have money left over to fund any of these goals. That's what I use the surpluses for. Whether it's a bonus, a tax refund, a third paycheck, Christy and I both get paid every other week. And so there's 4 months during the year where we have that extra paycheck. That's what I use to fund these goals. And that's also what I use to fund home improvement, car maintenance, donations. What else? Furniture. I think that's it. So those categories that I've capped at a certain amount that, I want this amount eventually, month to month, I'm probably not putting a whole lot of money in there. So there we go. I still have 1573 left. I mean, I could dump it in something fun like this, but it's such a small amount. Like, is that really going to move the needle for our 20th anniversary coming up here in August? Oh, home project. So we talk often about how when we allocate money, we're just basically taking our best guess as to what that money needs to do. We're paying for a fence. We're having a fence. We're having the entire backyard fenced. It started off as, let's do this little area fence. Then let's do a little bit bigger area. Now it's like, let's do the entire backyard. And so we're probably going to need another 4,000 for that. And so I'm just going to be taken from a lot of these categories, right? And I'm probably just going to take significant amounts from the bigger balance ones and then just kind of, nickel and diming some of those other categories. But yeah, I'm not going to put that 1573 towards the home project. I'm thinking I'm just going to dump that in the Ridge Medical because I know that category is going to be negative soon. So let's just do that. And there we go. When that ready to assign hits 0, that's when I start getting sad because I know the budgeting fun is over and I've got to wait 30 more days until I do it all over again. But there we go. I don't have any yellow. There are some months where I'm just not able to get to every single priority. And so I do have some categories that are yellow. And then, of course, there are those categories that I just wasn't able to put anything towards. I'm going to highlight those again. Car maintenance, durables, home improvement, furniture, right? Yeah. So I would have loved to have been able to put more money towards those things, but just didn't have enough to go around. But we'll take care of those with the windfalls. And that is my budget, folks. I hope this has been fun. I hope it's been enlightening, kind of walking through, seeing my categories kind of more in real life. They're not just empty. Now they have targets. Now they have amounts because I never showed those in the Budget Nerd videos. And just a little, look into my brain as I walk through this budgeting process. So thank you so much for your time. Maybe we'll do something like this again. I don't know. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. And so we're going to kind of see what the reaction is and go from there. So I got us all the way to the bottom of the hour. There was a part of me that was thinking, hey, I could be done with this in 10 minutes. So I'm glad we made it until then. All right, folks. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. We'll catch you on the next Budget Nerds episode dropping Wednesday this week. Yes, Wednesday. So until then, happy budgeting. Take care.